This is GSX-1300. I said in the previous video I was buying. Picked it up last night, and as you can see, it's in nice condition, very nice condition. It's been sitting around for about 10-11 years, and it needs a bit of work doing on it. It needs certainly the brakes are sort of like binding on. The brakes need sorting out. It's got stale fuel in the fuel tank that will need to be drained out, cleaned. Check the fuel pump to make sure that the fuel pumps hasn't got any contaminated fuel in it. It needs a new battery. The battery's totally dead, obviously. What else does it need? The tyres on it are new, or fairly new. Chain sprockets are in excellent condition, as you can see down there. That's the last time it was taxed. But generally it's in very good condition. So it's basically, at the moment, the initial things it looks like are the brakes need to be sorted. We need to get the fuel out of the tank and replace with fresh fuel. I have got a spare tank for this, and also I want to get the engine turned over to get the oil around it and get some, make sure it's the cams aren't dry and things like that before I even actually start it. So, for those who don't know about this bike, this is the GSX-1300, and it was originally designed to steal the top speed of, you can't see it under there, but it's the Honda Blackbird. And the idea was this bike was supposedly, this particular model, this is the first generation of the Hayabusa, was supposed to be able to do 200 mile an hour. And they will show that on the speedometer. If you're brave enough, they will wind up to 200 mile an hour. The true speed I think is more around about 185, 190 maybe. So they're a bit slow really in top speed. But as you see, it's in lovely condition. No nasty marks on it at all. It was loved by its previous owner, and obviously I bought it, and I intend to do the same thing. So it's going to need, as I say, a bit of work doing on it. I'm sure we're going to find other things as we move on. But the first port of call I think will be to get the tank off, get the fuel drained out, or replace it with the other tank. And at that point, have a look at the fuel pump, see what the fuel pump's like, get some fresh fuel in it, and then we'll get the plugs out. Take the plugs out and turn the engine over, or maybe I'll just do that with a starter motor. I don't know yet. Depends how difficult it is to get the plugs out. I've got a funny feeling you can't get them because the air box is on top of the top of the cylinder head on these things. So basically, the whole thing's in pretty good condition. Probably do a coolant change and obviously an oil change because it's been sitting around for a while. But the first step will be to let's see if we can get this thing clear of fuel and have a go, see what it's like. You might have spotted this little switch here. I think that's a timing retard eliminator or TRE modification he put on it. And what that does is in first and second gear it actually makes the computer knows that you're in the lower gear and puts a bit of retard on the ignition timing. The idea is it makes the engine slightly less snatchy at low speed, but a lot of people like to take that off, and I think that's what that does. I'll have to check where that's wired to. But and I have got some aftermarket exhausts for it, but I don't think I'm going to put those on. I seem to remember it sounded a bit, affected the engine performance slightly at low speed. It was a bit woolly, but let's go step by step, get the tank off, and have a look inside and see what it's like.